Well, hello everyone. Long time no see. I'm so glad I can make another update, which is, I'm thinking of making these monthly now. Seems to work for me because once a month, I'm sure I've got something to say. And maybe that's also better than having too many videos. At least we stay in touch this way. So yeah, here goes. This is the March 2024 update, Jay's March 2024 update. So, first funny story, we're just on our way back from the dentist where I was supposed to have an appointment today at 11 in the morning to place a third crown in my mouth. So, at the bottom left here, I've got something that has developed as a result of my wisdom teeth being there, and it's sort of, that tooth has been quietly rotting away. I think there's some fillings in that tooth as well. It doesn't give me any trouble, so this is why it's the last one that we're doing, because it's not a non-urgent matter. And but the dentist was saying, well, you've got to do it because it's otherwise you're eventually gonna lose it, and this might be another 5 years off. But let's go nip it in the butt now and file it all down and put a crown on. It's all going to be good. And I thought, yeah, that sounds good. She says the only problem is the problematic area, that hole that you have, is below the gum line. So that means it'll require a slight surgical procedure. So it might take a little longer. And I was thinking, yeah, no worries, that we can do that. It's fine. So we show up at 11. But the problem was that it took us about 45 minutes before I was even seen. So even at that point, I wasn't even seen. It was just, there was an emergency that came in before me, and then there was a patient in front of me, and she was called in at 11:45. And so I was thinking, well, this could take a while, and it being like a bigger thing, I don't know, maybe I'm going to get out at 4 or something. So, I said, hey, why don't we just move it to, a later date, like next week or so, because I'm easy here. And the receptionist was saying, no, don't worry about it. We're going to see you in just a moment. And I was thinking, okay, fine. So I sat back down, and then a lovely lady named Sandra comes in, and she is sort of our age, 50 plus, don't know. And she comes in and she says, I phoned yesterday. I don't have an appointment. I bit into a bagel, and my tooth at the front just kind of broke, ripped out, something like that. And it was, more or less an emergency. So we got chatting, and we said, man, that's terrible. And one of those things, Julia's had this before. She bit on an olive stone, and that was a major issue like 20 years ago. She's still suffering from that today. We'd rather you have that seen to right away. So I said to her, why don't you take my place? We got chatting, so we're seeing the same doctor, and I said, why don't you take my place, because I'm supposed to be in next. And my thing isn't urgent. I've already been here waiting for an hour. If they see me and then you wait another hour, I'd rather we get that seen to right away. So I spoke to the receptionist again and said, hey, I want to swap places with her. I'm going to go and come back next week, and then Sandra can have treatment right away. And that's how we left it. It was my good deed for the day. It was really, really nice, and it felt really good. So Julia and I just went to Starbucks and had an oleato and a piece of cake, which is even better. Oleato breakfast and a piece of cake, so I'm really stuffed now. So, but that was nice. So I had a really good time, and it's always nice to cycle the 25 blocks from down South Beach to up to 41st Street. It's always really nice. So that's number one, and that's kind of cool. And I thought I'll tell you about this. So then, second thing that's been happening, that's something that I've been working on over the last few weeks. Really, I've been getting more into iClone and animations with iClone. So just to recap, what I really want to do with iClone, and the reason why I even bought it last year, is because it is the key ingredient to do and change character animations. So anything from facial animations to body animations to applying those from the library, but also then making changes to them very conveniently. And I want to do that because I need to get these characters into Unreal Engine and then get them animated there for the project that I'm working on. Also because I'm really interested in it, but that is one of those missing ingredient things that's the only thing that can really do it. Unreal Engine natively sort of has these tools, but it's extremely difficult to get them going with control rig. It also requires figures with control rig. Not every figure has a control rig. And it's complicated as hell. I don't use Maya. Blender, again, it's another application that you have to export to from Unreal Engine, make a change and bring it back. Again, Blender isn't the greatest when it comes to making convenient changes. And Character Creator and iClone are fantastic at that. They can also import DAS content, including figures as well as clothing. So that's the pipeline into that. So for integrations, they really tick all the right boxes. But again, it's another 2 programs that I have to get comfortable with, and it's one of those things. It's been a while, and it's still an ongoing process, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I'm animating my first background characters with this system, and this is really nice. I can iterate over it in iClone, send the motion over to Unreal Engine, and then make that change and have the people walk the way I want them to walk, and also dress them up the way I need to dress them up. So then in our scene right now that we're working with, there is a doctor and a nurse, and they're not main characters. They're literally blurred out in the background, but they need to look believable. And I'm quite pleased of how I've made that happen. The next challenging bit that I'm going to have to work on is the lower body of a character who we don't have in Vision. So we only have him kind of up to here. In Vision, we don't have the lower half. But to make that scene a little bit more interesting, we want to have cutaways of him walking around. So we'll just show his feet and his legs for cutaways. And so I'm going to have to go and invent the lower half of a character that matches up with the actual real life footage of the guy that we shot. It's a British actor. Sadly, I forgot his name, but he's sort of medium famous. So I'm sure I'll check up on that and let you know. So that's it. That's really my update from March. It's been busy, so busy in fact that I've not been able to make proper videos from my channel. Interestingly, I'm still live streaming, of course, in which I'm doing more 3D experiments. And sadly, I don't have the time to chop them up into smaller bits, so that's why there haven't been any clips of that available recently. But yeah, I'm hoping that's gonna maybe change in the future. I don't know. It's a busy project, which is why there hasn't been a lot of new videos. But the next one I want to make really is, there's a lot of Unreal Engine things I want to record and explain, but I want to also finish that Marvelous Designer series, or the kind of clothing creation in that studio type series. And partly what brought that to a stop is that a new product by the Man Friday came out, which is called Seamster. And I haven't had a chance to look into that yet, but it helps in the clothing creation process in that studio. And it's one of those things that I thought I should mention in there, but I might not have time to do that. So my next step is to show you how to apply and save out textures, as well as create the product so that you can actually save this and share it with people. So that's something we haven't discussed. And then of course, how to bring all this homemade creation over into Unreal Engine. Those are at least two more parts that I want to make. And maybe now that I have a little bit more time on my hands, being able to speak this afternoon, which is kind of cool, I might actually go ahead and do that right away. So, great. Sometimes it's nice to talk out loud. Speaking of talking out loud, I have invested in 2 very nice Lamy pens. Lamy, they're fountain pens made in Germany, and they have like a 40-year history. And I remember like the posh people at school, they had Lamy pens. Plebs like me, they only had a Pelican, sort of, my first fountain pen with a silver cap. I hated that pen, terrible. But I always envied the people who had a Lamy pen. So I don't know why, but recently I thought I'm going to go and invest into one. And in fact, I invested into 2, and I'm having lots of fun writing out in longhand thoughts, experiments, notes. This is something that I've traditionally done on the computer, and I got to tell you, it's a very refreshing change of pace that does if you do this in longhand. So I've read a lot about that. People say it has a powerful impact on your mind if you write things out in longhand, and it's something that I had neglected over the years. I've done this in the UK quite a lot. I did this basically every day and laid out what I wanted to do for my day, and yeah, so I've done that, and it's been nice. Anyway, that was it for March. I hope you're all having a good time, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye bye. That's very nice of you. Thank you.